any instances where parental wounds have actually offended a person and seriously like destroyed their whole life?
Okay. I know someone, and that person is me, and okay. I have been a victim of parents that were narcissists. My dad actually started off as a disciplinarian, and we actually saw it. Given the time of the late 70s to the early 80s, he had a way of certain strict values. Society referred to now as abuse, corporal punishment. All of this wasn't mentioned back then. Yes, I am actually a victim, and I know the damage, the extent of damage it cost me. And a lot of times when it happened to us, we absorb it. We just have to be self-conscious to know that, yes, this is the damage it costs. So we do not risk it on our children.
Two examples, right? The first one is about a girl who was, even though I didn't want to bring in a physical angle, but let me just say this. A girl who was raped in her own house, in her own family, from the age of 6 to, maybe I shouldn't use that, actually. Let me use another one. A woman who, in order to escape abuse from home, got married early. Now, got married to a man that she didn't marry this man because she loved him. She married him because he was ready to marry her and he was available and he could provide. And so she married this man. Now, when you go into a marriage with this type of mindset, you understand that when storms of life come, you're not going to be fighting for that marriage because you use that marriage as an escape from a life that you were not happy with. And what it means is that you are not going to be having a real relationship with that person that you're married to. That person is not going to be having a real relationship with you either. And at the time that you're entering a marriage, generally, for all of us, it's when you're still young, right? So I just want us to understand that this is sometimes the reason why a marriage has already ended even before it started. So that people are surprised when 25 years later, 30 years later, that couple is breaking up. It is because it was already going to be broken, but nobody knew. So because when you enter that marriage, you now stay there, have your children, and maybe at that time you are not financially capable of taking care of the children. So you are suffering through the companionship of a man that you have no interest in. The man himself is suffering because he cannot get what he needs from you as a wife. But you now stay because you cannot take care of those children. And when the children grow, you have lived all your life now from childhood up until maybe almost 50. And now it is time for you to now get your independence. So you are about to eject yourself from that. By the time you leave that marriage at that age, it means that you are just starting life now. So do you understand how a person might feel if this was their own experience? Because the person will just say, it is my abusive parents that created this life for me. You understand that? And then what do you think would have happened in the lives of the children that were brought up in that environment where this couple, they may even have been having issues because the marriage was not entered into to care for their spouse? You really cannot have a very healthy environment because there's only you can only pretend for so long, right? So then when you now come back, you can now see that this person's whole life has been colored, has been realigned and redirected because of this incident. Then you find yourself dealing with people who are talking out of ignorance, and you are now being victimized all over again by people who themselves are victims.
People feel they are trying to help, but not knowing that they're adding to it. I've actually gained a lot today. I have noticed that some people trying to help, they're adding more salt to the injury.
It's just so much. If ever you're going to talk to anybody, talk to them from a place of compassion. The natural law is that everybody deserves dignity and respect.
That's true.
So the fact that the person is parent or adult does not exempt them from following that natural law. Keep in mind that you need peace in life. You need to be able to thrive and to operate properly as a whole human being. So it's for you to not allow another human being to come and take away the life that was given to you by your creator. And when these things happen, they eat away a part of a person. So whatever you need to do to get yourself whole, you cannot give your life away to another person, but it has to be through the process of understanding what has happened. and finding your own self-worth and self-love. That's where it has to begin. If you do not have peace of mind, then you haven't started living. Yes, we want to have healed minds and healed people, and to prevent ourselves from sicknesses, from releasing toxins in our body. Because the last thing that I would like to say is, if somebody finds themselves in this situation, note that the people who are talking to you maybe re-victimizing you all over, and but then they're doing it out of ignorance. But I now later realize, these people don't even know what they're saying. You know, yes, you know what it is that you're going through or you've been through. And the people re-victimizing you do not realize that they're victimizing you as well. Even the initial abuser doesn't know that they are being, even when they know, they are so sick that they justify what they're doing. You cannot get the apology from a madman or a madwoman. You're not going to get it. So the people in the psychiatric homes, they didn't fall from the sky. They belong to families. So just because that person is mother and father does not exempt them from having insanity. You cannot listen to this conversation and not see a way out of the tunnel in which you find yourself as a result of experiences that were thrust upon you. As you heard, the conversation is giving the opportunity so that you can come in and begin to process what has happened to you and get the way out of this tunnel. You are going to experience life in a different way, and you're going to be led by not only people who are interested in your well-being, but by people who have lived this life as well and know what it is like. Because you have experienced so many pains out of that singular incident, unfortunate experience, we know what it is. We know that it doesn't begin and end with what happened. We know that this follows through life and brings so many more challenges. That makes a person's life much lower standard than it should be. And that is why this work is important. Now, if you know anyone who needs counseling, even if it is not you directly, do direct them here, an opportunity for people to get the therapy sessions that they need in order to live whole and healthy.